Good evening, Bitcoiners. It is Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master, tuning in this evening, 6 p.m. London time on the 31st of May 2021. As always, strong Bitcoin hand. That is the theme of this show, to help noobs, intermediaries to build their strong hand. It is so easy to be fudded out of your Bitcoin by what you read on the internet, on Twitter, on radio and TV, and it is so hard to know what you should be taking notice of and what you shouldn't be taking notice of. And that is the theme of today's show. So before we get into that, please like this video. Please share it. Then subscribe if you haven't done so already. And next to the big subscribe button, there is a bell button. If you click that on a phone and then click all, if YouTube plays ball, you'll be notified every time I go live. If you also follow me on Twitter at twitter.com at UK Bitcoin Master, I always tweet around an hour before I go live and then a 10-minute reminder. So that way, you should never miss one of my shows. If you're new to this channel, every Monday, every Thursday, 6 p.m. London time, I always go live, barring illness or something where I just can't be here. So come and join us. You know, you'll get honest, heart on your sleeve Bitcoin information here. I don't profess to know it all, as the proclaimer, disclaimer even down here says. You're not going to see any charts here. You're not going to hear any technical analysis here. You're certainly not going to get any price predictions here. You're just going to get a 30 to 40 minute shot in the arm twice a week to help you build your strong Bitcoin hand. So if you're new to the channel, whatever you do, do your own research, and we'll come on to that in a minute. Just how easy it is to go down the wrong rabbit hole, and I'll give you a live example shortly. Do your own research. If you're going to invest into Bitcoin, know what you're investing into. You're not going to get any altcoin conversation here, so don't put anything in the chat around what about this coin or that coin, because I'm simply not going to talk about it. If you want to get my attention, type in UK Bitcoin Master. It will light up in orange, and all being well, I will see the chat and I'll happily give you a shout out. So before we do go on, let me do as I always do and give some people a shout out. BTC, or Andy BTC, I'm sorry, he messaged earlier saying he couldn't be on the live. So Andy, if you're watching this on catch up, hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to watch it on 2x. Michael Lilienfeld, I believe. Michael, welcome to you. JC Borta coming in from South Africa. Welcome, JC, loyal supporter of the show. My lovely wife, Elaine, Mrs. UK, is in the house. Bitcoin Sue, welcome to you. Sue Yorkie Bitcoiner. Who else? MS Beef. Mike! Welcome, Mike. Great to have you in the chat, my good man, from over the pond there. Michael Webber is tuning in from the UK. We have Johnny Midas in the house. People, please, please, please forgive Johnny Midas. For some reason, living out in Malibu, he always wants to be naked. But he's a decent dude and he always supports our chat. So Johnny Midas, or John, welcome to the show as always. Wilco Delamara's just joined us. Welcome to you, Wilco. So let's get that out of the way. If you join and you want to shout out, type in UK Bitcoin Master. I'll happily give you a shout out. Now, one last thing. My channel has been taken down once already by YouTube. And I'm not controversial in any way. So it just proves that when YouTube feel like it, their algorithm goes to work and they can shut a channel down. If you subscribe to UK Bitcoiner, the link is in the show notes right now. It's dormant. You won't get any notifications. But if this one did go down again, I would simply move straight over there and go live again over on that backup channel. So if you have not subscribed to UK Bitcoiner, please, please, please go and do it right now. Pause this video, click subscribe, then come back and then catch up on 1.5x. I would highly recommend that you do that. So the disclaimer's gone. Now, again, for those that are new to the channel, if you want to check out all of my videos, obviously you're on my YouTube channel, but ukbitcoinmaster.com is linked to my YouTube channel, and bitcoininterviews.com is where you'll find all the interviews that I've done with some of the greatest Bitcoiners, I think, currently in the space since I've been involved live streaming since April 2018. That just threw me. One other thing, if you're on the move and you just can't catch the YouTube videos, then why not listen on the podcast? Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Anchor FM. You can catch that at UK Bitcoin Master Podcasts with an S on the end.com. So do check that one out. And finally, anybody looking to drop a tip, I don't do this show for any types of tip, but if you want to, there's my tipping.me address. In the show notes is also a BTC address, but again, you'd be absolutely nuts parting with your precious Bitcoin. So let's get that out of the way. Okay, so the theme of tonight's show, wading through all the media rubbish that's out there if you're new to this, or if you don't yet have your strong Bitcoin hand. So very quickly, let's have a quick look at the price. JC's happy because there's been a dip and he's buying the dip. Yep, I'll be buying the dip if it stays down on payday, which is a couple of weeks away for me right now. Just can do that once a month, but buying the dip without a doubt. We're hovering around the high 36 to low 37,000 mark. And don't be fooled by this, people. You're looking at the chart that is the year chart. And here's a thought for you. If you put your hard-earned money in a standard bank account, you're going to earn no interest. In the UK, we have a current account or a checking account, as you call it in the US, and we have a savings account. And, you know, we can move money into our savings account and you can put thousands in there. And at the end of the year, if you're lucky, you maybe get a letter from them saying you've earned £30 in interest, if you're really, really lucky. Now, why am I telling you this? Because if we come back to the chart and we go back a year, Bitcoin was around the 9,000 mark. We're now around the 36,000, which as we stand is a 4x on your money if you held a year ago. Okay, 4 9s are 36. So therefore, have you lost money? No, you haven't over a year. You'll hear all the commentators and a lot of Twitter threads saying that if you hold your Bitcoin for 4 years plus, you will never, ever, ever lose money. Where you lose money is somebody is talking about Bitcoin, you don't understand the cycles, you jump in when it's on a bull run, then it crashes down, you think you've lost your money, you sell your Bitcoin for fear that it's going to zero, whereas if you'd have held it through the next cycle, it would have come back past that previous all-time high, then it would have 1, 2, 3, 4x that all-time high and some, and you never lose your money. So the first lesson on this show is don't ever sell your Bitcoin. There's only ever going to be 21 million coins in existence. There's between 7 and 8 billion people on this planet. And as Bitcoin becomes mainstream, excuse me, over the next decade or two, okay, you are going to want to hold whatever Bitcoin you've got because it's going to be so precious. It can't be debased. It can't be inflated away. And you are holding your bit of the future. So buy that Bitcoin as much as you can, buy more when you can, and then hold it and don't let anybody fudge you out of your Bitcoin. So what I want to do now is I want to look at some negative articles and then a few positive articles, and we'll wrap up with some tweets as always. But here's the thing. When I got into Bitcoin in 2017, like any noob, I went in search of people to follow, to learn from. And before I came across Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, who I followed religiously for 4 years, every single day. He had his one Bitcoin show that went every single day. On a Friday, it was This Week in Bitcoin. On a Saturday, he did the Beyond Bitcoin show. I watched every single one of Adam's shows. But before I found Adam, I found somebody that was talking about Bitcoin. He was a black guy. He was always driving around in his car. And, you know, I started listening to what he was saying, but there was something that made me feel slightly uncomfortable, which is what I'm saying to you. You've got to find somebody you gel with, somebody that isn't spinning you a load of hype, spinning you a yarn, whatever you want to call it, telling you a load of old baloney to buy into their scam. And the reason I say that is because here's an article. The SEC charges BitConnect promoters over 2 billion illegal token sale. And when I scroll down, I don't want to read all this, but look. Right, Trevon Brown, a.k.a. Trevon James. I don't know Craig Grant or Ryan Meeson and Michael Noble. I don't know those. But I came across the black guy, Trevon James. And all I can say is thank the Lord I didn't follow what he had to say. And I kept searching for those honest Bitcoiners. And I came across BTC Sessions. I came across Adam Meister, Trace Mayer, and a few others. And I quickly realised that this Trevon James, what he was talking about didn't sit very comfortably with me. And of course, it turns out the SEC in the States are now charging him and some others with this big scam. So there's a live scenario of where I could have easily gone down the wrong path, got into some kind of scam and lost all my money. And I'm saying that to you because in 2021, as I record this, if you're watching this in 2025, strong Bitcoin hand people, look out for the 2028 and 2032 halvings is all I can say. But if you're watching it live now, okay, there's so many great content creators out there to follow that you don't need to follow the scammers anymore. And the great thing about Bitcoin Twitter is that Twitter, the Twitter Bitcoiners, they will call out these scamsters. Now, I'm not big on Twitter, okay? I do follow people on Twitter. I look at their threads to learn stuff and to pick ideas for my show, etc. But I don't constantly, beat up on people and scams on Twitter. So I'm sort of low key, but I do look at it every single day. And what I'm saying to you is if you do that, and then you look at maybe the people that I follow and follow them too, you won't go far. Oh, that sounds terrible. I don't want to put myself up on a pedestal. That's not what I mean. It means that I'm a strong hand Bitcoiner. I'm probably as close as you'll get to a Bitcoin maxi, as they're called, i.e. I'm not going to slam the other coins. They've all got their place. You just can't have Bitcoin and nothing else. You're going to have scam coins always. You're going to get other coins that have got some kind of utility, but they're not Bitcoin. Ethereum's not going to go away, etc. But I am a Bitcoin only guy. My lot is in Bitcoin. Let's just say that. I only follow Bitcoiners. I think I do. And I would expect somebody who's a Bitcoiner to call me out if I'm following somebody that they think perhaps I shouldn't be following because, I'm no expert. I'm just some Brit who wants to go live twice a week and rant on about Bitcoin. So the point I'm making is if you're new, just check out Twitter, get on there, find me, UK Bitcoin Master, look at who I'm following and follow them. And then wheedle out who you don't want to follow and work out who you do want to follow. And in terms of YouTube, I would follow my channel. You ain't going to get a load of hype here. You're not going to get lies here. You're going to get it heart on my sleeve from my heart, what I believe about Bitcoin. Follow Bitcoin Meister. Follow BTC Sessions without a shadow of a doubt. They're the two that jump and spring to mind for good bullish Bitcoin conversation. Now, so let's have a look at what you have to wade through when you are new and working out what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. So we've got this China FUD. I mean, the biggest one that comes out, it says China Global Television Network talks Bitcoin future. We're all going to die. I mean, for goodness sake, what the heck is this all about? The comment comes during a segment from China Global Television Network while talking about what if the top cryptocurrency by market cap succeeds in replacing the dollar. In addition to a deflationary death spiral, society as we know it will apparently come to an abrupt end. I mean, for goodness sake, who follows rubbish like that? Are you mad? Just because, look, learn about Bitcoin. Understand that all the energy FUD out there is just FUD. There was something else from China. Yeah, how many times have China banned Bitcoin? And you know what? It made no difference to Bitcoin. Bitcoin just moved on. I love TikTok, next block. No matter what goes on, every 10 minutes, a new Bitcoin block is mined. And it's set in stone. It's been like that for 12 years. It's never missed a block. And nothing can stop Bitcoin. This is just FUD, people. I'm not breaking the articles down. Bitcoin resumes decline. Here's why Bitcoin could dive to new monthly lows. Another doomster advert, if you will, if you're brand new to Bitcoin. Ethereum has much higher utility than Bitcoin, says Guggenheim co-founder. Well, that it's great, but that says to me, has that person got a vested interest in talking Ethereum as well? Can Ethereum ever be Bitcoin? No, it can't. Is Ethereum trying to be the future of money? No, it isn't. It is just a completely different platform, if you will, than Bitcoin. And when you dig in, and I don't sometimes convey this too well, but in my opinion, after all the learning I've done over the years, Bitcoin is the only coin that's got the absolute possibility out there of being the future of money. It is hard, sound money. Ethereum, they can't tell you how many coins there are. They say they can, but they can't. You can go onto the blockchain and you can verify exactly how many Bitcoin have been mined to date, how many Bitcoin are ever going to be in existence, when the last Bitcoin will be mined in the year 2121, I believe it is. We know that. So the scarcity aspect kicks in. When there is more supply than there is, more demand, than there is supply, that means the number goes up, and we're already experiencing that right now. So are we in a downward or a sideward trend? Yeah, absolutely. Am I freaked out or phased about that? No, I'm not. I follow a couple of TA guys, not because I'm interested when they talk altcoins, but I'm trying to learn about when they talk about when there's a turn and it looks like Bitcoin's going up, or if it looks like it might go down a little bit more. And by following those guys, if I hear them say, and some of them have got hundreds of thousands of followers, if I hear them say, looking at all the indicators, we may go down a little bit more, then if Bitcoin goes down a little bit more, it doesn't freak me out, okay? Because they said it might. They've said I might get it wrong and it might go up again. But the point is, to build my strong hand, I needed to follow people that might give me an indicator of perhaps the direction that Bitcoin is going at the moment, so that I don't freak out when it goes from 60 to 50 to 40 to 36 to whatever. A couple of them said there is a chance it could go down into the high 20s. If it did, it wouldn't faze me. What they've also said is when you look at the fundamentals, Bitcoin is rock solid. The fundamentals haven't changed. This is just short-term volatility that has been in Bitcoin for 12 years. People, if you want to get my attention, type in UK Bitcoin Master. I'll happily give you a shout out. I can see the chat going on there. Michael Webber did say hey. Hey to you, Michael, as well. Barefoot Barry's in the house. Welcome, Barry, from New Zealand. Great to have you with us. Zaza's in the house. Good to have you back, man. Good, as always, to have you in the chat, Zaza. Always. So understand that there's loads of FUD out there that if you're new could freak you out. Okay, now here's one that maybe isn't a bad thing in my opinion. The SEC chairman, Gary Gensler, says DeFi poses risks to crypto investors. Here's the thing. I wouldn't want to put my money in DeFi. I remember the craze of 2017, the IPO craze, the ICO craze, where the ICOs were going mad. They were saying that Bitcoin was losing dominance and there was going to be a flippening and Ethereum was going to overtake Bitcoin. Now, the BTC dominance has come down again, exactly the same as 2017. Am I worried about that? No, because Adam Meister taught me that everything I'm experiencing today is cyclical. i.e. what goes round comes around. It keeps circling back. So we get this halving, then we get a bull run, then we get a couple of years in the bear market or the crypto wilderness or Bitcoin wilderness, and then we have a halving, and then a year, 18 months later, we get a big pump again. So by following these people and understanding that the TA guys I've been watching have both said, we saw this in 2017. We didn't necessarily see the pullback we're seeing in 2021, in 2017, but this very much mirrors 2013. So am I worried about this? Not in a million. It gives people like JC in the chat and all of you guys that are still stacking your sats to buy Bitcoin on sale. Me, most of my Bitcoin is purchased. We are DCAing every month, of course. So, but I'm older than some of you guys in the chat. So I don't want this thing to last 10 or 20 years before the number go up and allows Elaine and I to travel around the world. Okay, so, we're all on these, I've said this before, we're all on different strategies depending on where you are. But, if it goes down, great, mop up Bitcoin on sale. If it goes up, hey, that's okay as well. So then we look at positive stuff. You've now got rumors out there that Apple is starting to accept cryptocurrency. They've even got a job ad suggesting they're looking for a crypto guy or somebody to come and work with them that understands cryptocurrency. Now, this, could be just media hype. But again, you get the negative rubbish out there, but you also then can look and find positive stuff that tells you that you're in the right place at the right time. BTC dominant cycle suggests the 2017 crypto rally could repeat. Absolutely. It is cyclical, people. If you are into Bitcoin because you want to put some money in today and you want to get rich in 3 months, you need to get the hell out of Bitcoin because it isn't for you. Bitcoin is volatile. It is a brand new 12-year-old asset class, and Bitcoin, 1 or 2 people put their money in at the right time, right at the end of the bull run. They time it perfectly. They maybe get a 4 or 5x and they get out and they make a load of money. Great. So they get out. Let's say they get out at 100k ballpark. Okay. So they think, great. Yeah, we, 5x'd our money or whatever it is. That's okay then. But come 2024 and 2025, when they see Bitcoin at $500,000, $1 million, they'll look back at that trade in 2021 and maybe think, perhaps I wasn't so smart. Perhaps I should have held on to that Bitcoin and got some long-term thinking in this thick head of mine. And that is the key in Bitcoin. It is long-term thinking. It is delayed gratification. So easy to make some money and go and get that new car or that new big screen TV or book that cruise. No, you have to learn discipline. You have to learn to have a strong hand. You have to learn to stomach the 50%, 80% sometimes corrections that happen within Bitcoin. And that is what my channel is about. That is why I ask you all to bring some noobs, to bring some of your family members to find my channel so that I can help those people that are not in and fluent in all the tech to start to build their strong hand. I can only do that with you guys' help. So, pick up the link to this show. Go and send it to 5 family or friend members and say, hey, you ought to check this dude's show out. He's a bit of a crazy Brit, but he talks a whole bunch of sense. It's up to you, but it would be useful. I felt like a moron for not buying Bitcoin, says billionaire Stan Druckenmiller. Here's again. You are going to have so many people wish they'd have got, he didn't get any Bitcoin at the time and he watched number go up and number go up and he then felt a total fool for not having any Bitcoin. And what I don't want for anybody that takes the time to jump onto my show is for this thing to go through the roof when it goes and you live with a regret because you didn't get off ground zero. The one thing you don't want to happen when the inflation comes and ultimately hyperinflation and hyper-Bitcoinization, which I believe will come in my lifetime, is have no Bitcoin. You need to get off zero. Just my opinion. Again, Bitcoin Magazine, Texas law creates legal clarity for Bitcoin. More and more of this, people, is coming. The clarity around Bitcoin. Do we have to put up with regulation? We're not going to get away with it. The institutions aren't going to come in if they don't see it regulated to a degree that gives them a level of security when they're bringing in hundreds of millions and billions of dollars into the space. They want to know that they are protected. Now, the libertarians amongst us, they want it all to be, regular people like us and take Bitcoin to the moon and, stuff the institutions. But, how many decades is that going to take where a handful of institutions like Apple jumping in and it all starts to happen a lot quicker for everyone? Again, depending on your strategy. I get that completely. So a handful of tweets I found. Let's just cover some of them. From Steph, here's one. Just ask my brother how much his $50 bond my grandparents gave him as a birthday gift in 1995 is worth. Drum roll. His $50 bond is now worth $56.06. I think Ray Dalio is onto something. Bitcoin, people. Bitcoin Magazine, again, off the back of the tweet and the article about Apple maybe looking at getting into crypto. That if they do, that's a big deal. That's a massive deal. But we don't know when or if, because none of us have got a crystal ball. Breaking. Apple posts job offer for business development manager for alternative payments. It says there, do you think Apple will be the next company to offer Bitcoin payments? Hey, maybe they'll go down the ETH route. I don't know. But you know what? Just Apple coming into the space is going to drive the space in an upward direction. And if you are holding Bitcoin, that is only ever going to be good for you and your family down the road. Stefan Livera, highly respected podcaster from the land down under. He is on my Bitcoin interview podcast. I did an interview with Stefan a year, maybe 18 months, even 2 years ago now. I don't know. If you thought 60k to 30k was bad, just imagine a 300k Bitcoin that drops to 60k, because that will happen. It is on percentage terms. It's still, a 5x. Yeah, I can't work percentages out. My head just goes. That's still a big drop, maybe 80% perhaps. Okay, but that happens. Can you stomach that? I can. I don't care if it's 1 million and it drops to 300,000. What I'm doing is I'm in this for the long haul, and it can swing during the corrections, and I'm just buying and holding. And I'll tell you something else, people. It just allows you to live a stress-free Bitcoin investor's life. I don't want to constantly be over leveraged. I don't want to constantly be worried that I've took a loan out and Bitcoin crashes down and now I can't afford the loan or whatever it is, and I've got to sell my Bitcoin, or we borrowed the family savings to get some and then it crashes and now we need to sell the Bitcoin. I don't want to ever be in that position. So I've said this a million times. I'm going to say it again. If Bitcoin went to zero right now, Elaine and I would probably vomit for 2 weeks with our position. But you know what? Our life would go on exactly as it does today, because I learned to never over leverage myself, only to put into Bitcoin what I could afford to lose 100%. Not to say I was going to, but I had to be prepared to lose it because it's a speculative asset. And I was, and I am, and I'll say it again for anyone new watching this today in 2021 or even 2025, I will go to Mars with a ship, or I will go down with the ship. There is no middle ground with the UK Bitcoin Master. Zusu, you cannot climb a mountain by listening to stories from other mountain climbers or by watching films about mountains. You must actually take each step yourself. I really like this because you can't ever get the conviction that I've got by just listening to me. You've got to get that conviction by getting some skin in the game, by buying that Bitcoin, by seeing it drop, coming back on my show and understanding that it's all right. You see, what most people do, people like me, just regular dudes that can get into Bitcoin, they don't do what I did. They just buy and then hope. And then when the price goes down, their emotion is they're freaking out. And then they start messaging someone saying, is Bitcoin okay? Is everything okay? If you keep accumulating, but you also do some basic learning, you understand that there is the volatile day-to-day price of Bitcoin, and then there is the fundamentals of Bitcoin, and the fundamentals have not changed. They're rock solid. Tick-tock, next block, every 10 minutes. It's going to go on till 21:41. Jean Verschaw, welcome back, Jean. Great to have you in the house. As always, my good friend, I've missed you for a while. I love giving you a shout out, dude. So welcome back to the show, Jean. And then finally, we had the Bitcoin car in the Indy 500 yesterday in the US. I couldn't watch it live, but my good friend Johnny Midas was updating me every few minutes as he was watching it over there in Malibu. Thank you, John. I was quite excited when some tweets were saying we're in first place, and I'm thinking we're going to win, we're going to win, we're going to win. And then obviously we finished, I believe there was some discrepancies. Somebody said 8th, somebody said 9th. Hey, we finished in the top 10, and that was a good one. The publicity that would have given Bitcoin is absolutely epic. So kudos to VK, kudos to Ed Carpenter from the team. He tweeted something here that I thought worth sharing. At the bottom it says, at the end of the day, I'm just another node on the network. I'm proud to donate car number 21 to Bitcoin and push the world forward in an ever so small way. He's really humble. I'm proud to be part of this community and play my part in the best thing we have going for us right now. Fix the money, fix the world. Don't you think that's a really, really good tweet? Because I do. And, I'm in the UK, so my motorsport is Formula One, Lewis Hamilton, etc. Never watched Indy 500. But I tell you right now, if I could have got that yesterday live, I would have watched that live because Bitcoin was involved in it. It can only be good for the space, in my opinion. So, we should get behind that Bitcoin car and get him, doing more races in that beautiful Bitcoin car. PK, welcome to the show. Great to have you. I don't know whether you've been with us for most of the show, but I've only just seen you pop in there. Great to have you with us as always. So to pull the show together, you know me in quotes. I love this one by Rocky Balboa, my favourite box set, the Rocky movies, just can't get enough of them. I love it. It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and then get up again or keep moving. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. So let's bring that into Bitcoin. Every time the price goes down and you're new and you're worrying about it, you're being hit hard. Jump on shows like this and build your strong Bitcoin hand back up again. And then every time Bitcoin knocks you down or what's going on with the price knocks you down, as your volatility mellows out in terms of what's going on with the price, your knowledge and growth at being a Bitcoin investor will go up and up and up. And eventually the two will become even. And you just sail along nice and neatly. You don't really care what happens to the price short term. Over the long term, you are in the right place at the right time. So I really love that quote. So people, that is your UK Bitcoin Master live show for today, the 31st of May, 2021. As always, strong Bitcoin hand. As always, buy your coins, get them off an exchange onto some kind of hardware device. I give consultations on Trezor. For anyone that wants one, you'll find my email address at the bottom of the notes section. I'm surprised at how many people never even go and have a look in the notes section. And I'll tell you how I know that, because I always used to put the links to all of these show articles in the show notes, and not one person ever has come to me recently and said, those links have gone. I normally go in and watch them because nobody bothers. Meister said it, Bitcoin Meister, personal responsibility is the new counterculture. Those articles are there for you to read. They're short articles. Read them to help your knowledge. Just by reading 4 or 5 articles from a Bitcoin show, you can learn so much, people, and people don't bother. But it is what it is. I'm okay. I'm in Bitcoin. I've got my Bitcoin stored on my Trezor. I'm doing okay. Barry says, all the best, everyone. Barry, thank you. So that is the end of the show, people. I'm going to leave you with my social media links. I will be back on Thursday, 6 p.m. London time, with my UK Bitcoin Master live show. But for now, please tweet this out. Please pick up the show link and send it to 5 of your friends and ask them to tune in and just give up 30 odd minutes to learn a little bit about what Bitcoin is. And let's get, I really want to push and get my subs to 1,000 subs. That would be really awesome. Took me 3 years to get to 500, nearly 600. And I want to get that next 400 and something done way quicker than 3 years from now. So you can help the noobs by sending them that link and saying, hey, you ought to check this guy out. That in turn will help me to build my numbers, which in turn will keep it up on YouTube's algorithm, which will get more noobs to see it. So that becomes a win-win situation, people. One last thing you can do, you can go back into the comments after the show, leave a little comment there. I always respond and answer every one of them. You know that, for those of you that go into the comment section. Good or bad, I'm open to criticism. I always respond to those comments. So leave a comment afterwards so we can mess with YouTube's algorithm and get more eyeballs on my show. Thanks for listening, people. Thanks for watching. If you're on the podcast, thanks for listening. If you're on YouTube, shortly you're going to get some squares pop up somewhere over here. That's me done. Take care. I'll catch you all on Thursday. I'm Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master, signing off for now. Catch you Thursday.